Viewers at home, you are welcome to another episode of Insight with Tola. Today I have with me another guest, an elderly statesman in person of engineer Thomas Olasende, Sylvia Adare. Sir, Baba, you're welcome to this program.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Can you please introduce yourself, sir, and tell us about your journey so far in engineering?
Okay, I'm Engineer Thomas Olasende, Sylvia Adare, an electrical engineer. I graduated in 1972. After graduation in 1973, I was already associate member of the Institution of Electrical Engineers. So I had my at our time there was no NYS. So because I was on government scholarship, so I was bonded to serve Old Western. So because of that, there was no vacancy in the Ministry of Works for there. So I was posted to Imekun Grammar School to teach.
In Imekun Grammar School?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where I started. And from there, I moved to Ministry of Works.
Okay. And your academic career, sir, can you share that with us? How you went to study engineering, which university, and what experience to sir?
I went to St. Joseph's College, Ondo, and I had the privilege of even teaching there because after St. Joseph's, I went to Federal School of Science in Lagos. So during that period, I came back to teach at St. Joseph's College. That was where I taught people like Mimiko.
Okay, the former governor of Ondo State. Rahman Mimiko.
Yes. Okay. And so many of the people, like Senator Ogunniya.
Okay.
Yeah, so
they were all old students of.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Then, sir, after you finished your academic career, where did you work, sir?
I said I was bonded by the Old West. So I was forced to teach at Imekun Grammar School. Thereafter, I went to Ministry of Works
at Ibadan.
And at Ibadan, I had even training with NEPA, old NEPA, and some other places. James Street Park, Lagos and so on. And when the state was created,
Ondo State,
because I was already handling rural education in Old West. I was head of that. So when Ondo State was created and we moved to Accreditation, the rural education came under my purview. We had to continue with that. A lot of places were electrified. Now, there was a time about 48,000 villages were handled by Ministry of Works. And in the process, I was because Bende had their own rural
state
and Kwara. So I traveled, because I was head of the department, I traveled to Benin and learned to find out how they handled the whole thing. And that was how I brought up a memo for the creation of Electricity Board.
This is the Ondo State Electricity Board?
Yes, Ondo State Electricity Board. And most of our engineers moved from works to Electricity Board to establish the place.
So after your retirement from the state government job, what else were you doing to enhance engineering? Did you go into consultancy?
Consultancy, a lot of other things. I was an examiner for C.O.R.E.N, NSC, and in the process. External supervisor, even for some of the universities. So, AfeBabalola for accreditation. Imo State University. So many.
Yes, what inspired you to choose to study electrical engineering?
In those days, we were best taught by expatriates at the ministry in the secondary school. So the expatriates would single out some people.
Okay.
Now, 3 of us who are good in physics, maths, and
English.
Yes, and incidentally, we all ended up in engineering. So we, in asset, the 3 of us, we studied. We put in for 9 subjects.
Okay. For WAEC?
For WAEC. And we all had a grade 1. So in fact...
It was not A then, it was grade 1?
No, A1, PC...
but I thought maybe then the WAEC grading was grade 1, grade 2.
Grade 1.
Okay. Now we're having A, B, C now in WAEC.
Oh, okay.
We are grading
grade 1.
Okay.
And after that, I went to study, because I studied pure maths.
That's okay.
Then, so when I went to Federal School of Science, Lagos. Yes. I did pure maths, applied maths, and physics.
Applied maths.
Yes.
That's the additional mathematics that we did during our time.
Additional maths at O
level, yes, sir.
But applied maths. And in fact, thank God, I was to go to Germany because I had a scholarship. Thereafter, Old West, when Ondo lawyer was
the governor.
No, not the commissioner.
Okay, commissioner. Okay.
So
I was still
the scholarship was based on
merit.
Yes, even exam, and some of us who were lucky. In the process, I was given Western State scholarship. Then I went to AfeBabalola. There was a turning point at AfeBabalola. When I had already got to AfeBabalola, federal government gave me a scholarship.
Again, another scholarship?
Yes, but I was already 180 something, 189 or whatever. Now the university authority said you cannot use scholarships.
You were already on that of the
yes.
old Western region.
That was why I had to come back to serve.
Okay.
And they had the privilege of posting me to, because there was no vacancy then. Posting to
go and teach. So during the course of your career, definitely you must have some memorable projects or achievements that shaped your career. Can you share one of them with us?
Career in service or where?
Anywhere. Preferably during the career as you climb the ladder.
Yes, yes. When I left Ministry of Works,
yes, sir.
I joined Takas Associates as a project engineer. In the process, I carried out so many projects. When Abuja was to start, the electrification and so on, master plan for Abuja was handled by us.
Yeah, for the electrification?
Yes, everything. And in the process, we worked with EEC. Even when I had left the EEC projects were handled by us, by me. In fact, Kogi here,
Ondo State,
Agbaja. So quite challenging. Even in Kogi State, you cannot dig the ground.
Because of stone.
Yes, you know, this Agbaja.
Okay, it is limestone.
Yes.
Okay,
like,
now you have Dangote.
That's right.
Okay.
So
that's the major
used pneumatic machine to dig, to drill, to plant. That was Mama Makele's town. So quite challenging because the terrain was very challenging. The whole thing was, but we thank God. It was easy.
Okay. Then, sir, as you were growing up in your career, definitely there will be complex situations. So how did you solve those complex issues? Either in management or on site?
We thank God. You know, everybody have one challenge or the other.
Definitely.
It's the grace of God that will pull you through. Even when I was Minister of Works, I was head of the Department of Electrical. There was a lot of intrigue there. In fact,
office politics.
I
said office politics.
A lot of intrigue. And that was how I was eased out of the place. That's the way I put it.
Okay, I have a question I'll ask you later. Let me keep that one. I said I'll ask you a question later, maybe when we're landing on that, sir. Sir, if you were to advise upcoming professionals, what skills do you think, key skills do you think they should learn or acquire for them to be successful in their career as an electrical engineer?
One, we are in the age of revolution. You have to be internet ready. And you have to learn. You keep learning.
To stop.
Every day.
Every day.
Yes. In fact, you keep learning every day. There's no end to it. A lot of challenges.
That's something I learned from you, sir. Come rain, come shine. Whenever we have our monthly meeting, Nigerian Social Media Points, you elderly ones, especially you are always there. When we go for conferences, at least out of the elders, I know that you are the most prominent. You always go for conferences. So those are the procedures or ways by which you two are using to update your personal knowledge and experience. Thank you, sir.
Yes. I presented papers.
Sir, during the course of your career, definitely there will be challenges that looks like failure, and you turn them into success. Can you share some with us, or one?
Like I said, the intrigue in the Ministry of Works forced me out. And thank God today, no regret. Because I was already armed with zeal to face challenges. Even this relocation I was talking about.
Yes, sir.
A lot of places, Ekiti was still part of
Ondo.
Yes. All these places.
They were still under Ondo State.
Yes, were handled by us. We thank God that we were able to get through. And as soon as everything was completed, the projects were successfully commissioned.
Then, sir, definitely every field of profession have their own misconception. Is there any in electrical engineering? And then if there is any, sir, can you share that with us and tell us how you can just put a bit on that this does not exist, or this is not actually how it is?
What?
Misconception.
Misconception?
Yes. What are the misconceptions you have in electrical engineering?
Well, misconception depends on the individual. One, an attitude to life. Many of our people today, they are not ready to learn. And if you are not ready, you cannot update yourself, so you cannot grow. If you want to grow digitally and in profession, you learn every day. Because something new must come up every day. So years back, there was no AI.
At all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in the process, you update yourself. But if you don't update yourself, you'll be left behind. Yes.
So, sir, how have you been staying relevant, sir, in your field of engineering, electrical?
Yes. I became a fellow in 1989.
1989.
College of Fellows. Then in the process, I served on so many committees at the national. A lot of challenges, a lot of opportunities that we were able to learn.
That is what has been making you to stay relevant.
That's right.
So there are viewers at home, as you are listening to Baba Adare. He's an electrical engineer. He's telling us now that for you to stay relevant, you have to update yourself regularly. Update yourself, attend conferences, share knowledge. The world is not a global village where
it is.
You don't need to travel far. Just go on your laptop, or your phone, and then access information that are relevant to your life. Thank you for that, sir.
For example, even last year something, there's Achievers.
Okay.
They still invited me for accreditation. A lot of things.
You're not tired.
AfeBabalola.
We thought maybe you would be resting now.
AfeBabalola International.
Okay, Atado.
Yes, International Accreditation.
That's the call. That's cool.
And I became a Zonal Supervisor in 2000.
Okay, for C.O.R.E.N.
For C.O.R.E.N.
Okay, that's good.
So,
then, sir, if I may ask you, if you are told to meet an innovator, if you are asked to meet an innovator or a professional from the past, who would that person be and why?
if
you are told to meet an innovator or a professional from the past, who would that person be? Who is the person that you want to meet that you have not met? And then why do you want to meet him?
No, honestly, I'm accessible to anyone.
Okay.
If you look at Bill Gates, if you look at the background of Bill Gates, he wasn't that brilliant.
Yes, he was not.
He was exposed.
So there's an exposure that led to his brilliance.
That's right. And he became an innovator in the process. So it depends on your attitude to life.
So that means you don't have anybody in mind that you would have loved to meet, either Einstein or Isaac Newton or anybody that you know that you feel that you should meet.
No, they had their own time.
Okay.
As you have your time and I have yours. But we cannot be living in the past. That is why even knowledge is growing.
Yes, it's growing every day.
So it's rapidly.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So Baba is telling us now that accessibility is the key. Now, as engineers, you must be accessible. That is what the young ones need for them to experience success in their career. Now, sir, this question is tricky. What is fun about you that people don't know? There must be something that people don't know. It's fun about you, but people do not know.
Well, ordinarily, if you move close,
yes, sir,
I'm quite accessible.
Okay.
But if you look at me from
outside,
yes, you see this, because I don't brood nonsense. Since I've been an examiner for years,
yes,
I've been for NSC and C.O.R.E.N. for so many years. And a lot of the junior engineers will fear.
I was once like that when I hear your name. Adare, I don't want to meet him. That man is difficult. So when I was about to write my, I said no, Adare, I don't want to meet Adare. He said why? Baba is difficult. No, so today is the question.
Whereas, in fairness, if you make yourself accessible and do what you are supposed to do.
Like a lot of people prefer to cut corners. That's what you don't.
I don't. Yes.
That's where.
Even in projects, some of our projects, Elizade University, FUTA, we have been with FUTA since 1983. Most of the projects, and some people will say, oh God, they will not want to meet me because I don't want people cutting corners. Because you need to leave legacy. You meet some people from FUTA now.
Yes.
If you ask them about
engineer TOS.
Yeah, Adare, they will tell you. Because I don't compromise.
That's it. Then, sir, maybe before we round up, I just wanted to tell us, for years I noticed that you have been examiner to C.O.R.E.N and to NSC. Can you tell our viewers at home more about C.O.R.E.N, more about NSC? What are they for? What do they stand for? And how are they supposed to help engineers?
NSC had to midwife the creation of C.O.R.E.N.
Okay.
For the regulation of engineering in Nigeria.
Okay.
So as to be able to ward up quacks.
Okay.
And so our people have not been doing well.
Okay.
In the sense that, like you rightly said, I think it's the attitude generally. People want to cut corners. If you look at building a collapse,
okay,
simple thing. If you say, do this, do this, do this. If you neglect one, there will be repercussion.
Definitely.
Yeah, some years back, when you used to have project meetings at FUTA, even Elizade, some people will try to avoid me, as if
because of your stand of
yes,
no nonsense.
When we were handling the electrification of afforestation,
okay,
Elizade,
okay, along Ibadan.
the people there felt, this man must be a terrible person. So they used to have meeting before meeting.
Okay.
If there's supposed to be a meeting at 11, they would have held
another meeting before 11.
But when I arrived, my poor person, the way I look at it, I will see it. And that was why even it got to a stage that they almost vilified me. Mm-hmm. When they set up the Justice Babalola Justice that proved the running of afforestation.
Okay.
We were supposed to be faced. It was the recommendation of that panel that this group must be paid. Because we saved that project
from failure.
Yes, from failure.
That's interesting. Sir,
even look at when they started the Ondo State something.
Which one is that?
Abuja. The liaison office.
Okay. Ondo State liaison office.
Yes.
Ondo State government liaison office.
Some officials of the ministry, they did not want. They did not like my attitude. They told Reliable, no, okay. They wanted to change some things. I said, no, you cannot. The projects as conceptualized must be based as that. And if you have that, there must be a written document from the governor, the administrator. Reliable was there.
Okay, it was the governor then.
Yeah. Then they now called me. Reliable sat down and said, hey, engineer, you are frustrating my project. I said, look, you will not be here for eternity. Somebody will review your position when you are left. In fact, he got. He left his something. He
sat near you.
I said, look, everything is for posterity. And if I have taken a stand, it's for you. It's because of you. It was. Thank you very much. Now because they wanted to amend the
initial estimate.
Yes. I said no. But only God saved me, because that's the way I put it.
Thank you, sir. Then, Papa, before you go on this program, I want you to talk about, you mentioned something earlier in your course of conversation, your baby. That is Ondo State Electricity Board.
Yes.
You wrote a memo.
Yes.
That started the agency, and that agency is still in existence.
Yes.
Sir, I hope you are still monitoring the agency one way or the other. And I hope the agency to know, monitoring in terms of, I know that most of the people there are engineers. They are they are your juniors. They are your children.
Yes.
So I hope they are still meeting up with the the rules and regulations that guides the setting up of that agency.
Yeah, you see, the problem is this: most of the places, I don't want to be an intruder.
Okay.
And we brought in Multimen, the Minister of Works. And it's from Minister of Works that the first batch of engineers to electricity board. And thank God.
And what is that culture? The culture is that we give out gifts to people that have come to this, our guests on this program. And the gift might look small, but that is the gift reminds us of where we start from, or where we started from. We started as doing technical drawing in the primary school and secondary school. From that, we graduated to university to use T-scale and set-scale to draw. Now, the thing, just like what you said, nobody is using the hand to draw now, it is AutoCAD.
Yes.
It is SolidWorks. So, sir, that's why we are giving you this small clutch pencil as a token of appreciation, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you, sir. For attending. Viewers at home, it has been interesting with Engineer Thomas Olasende Silva Adare, the fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. He's our elderly statesman. He was the 8th chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Accreditation branch, and he's still active. Like he said, he's been called upon at Elizade. He's been called upon at Achievers University, AfeBabalola. He's still active. Over 80 years.
University.
So, sir, we pray for sound health for you and your family, your mama. Our regards to your family, sir. So, dear viewers at home,
you are welcome.
This is the end of the segment episode. Until we come back next week.